Today we're gonna look at the solos from Trapeze's Medusa album. It's gonna be a long video, so let's jump in. Okay, so let's start with Black Cloud and see what we got here. So the first couple of phrases there are right? So you start with a slide up on, I think he plays on the A string, but it doesn't really matter, it's just, so I slide up to the 14th fret on the A string and skip to the 12th fret on the G string twice, and then it does a bend on the 14th fret on the G string and back down again. So you bend up and then you start with the bend and let down and to the 12th fret on the G string. Then on the B string you bend on the 15th fret. Do kind of a bend release, kind of pre-bend, I guess you would call it. So you bend it first, then you let it down and pluck it, then you bend it without plucking it and or yeah, you bend it you pluck it once you have bent it. That's what I meant to say. So you do kind of that thing, which is basically playing on the next string, but he does that because he plays that down bending or whatever you would call it. Yeah, and 12th fret on the G string. That's the first phrase. Like that. Yeah, next phrase is something like that. I don't remember the rhythm of it, but you start on the 10th fret on the A string, which is the G note. You do another one of those slides up to the 14th fret on the A string, and instead of like you do in the first phrase, you land on just the G string. Here you land on both the D and G string. It kind of does a staccato thing there. Yeah, he maybe doesn't even play the slide. He maybe do a hammer-on, 12th fret to 14th fret, and then the same. Something like that, I think it plays. You do kind of another one of those slide things, and all the way down to the 3rd fret on the E string for a low G note. I think it plays like that. So low G notes on the E string, then slide up to on the D string, this time the 14th fret, and 12th fret on the G string, 14th fret, half note bend, so up to the 15th fret. That note you should bend to. So that phrase is cool. I think it plays the 2nd fret on the D string, and then a quick pull off the 4th to the second fret on the G string and to open string, like that. Wow. And then he plays. So I think he plays it like that. The second fret, and then on the G string, fourth, second open string, back to the second fret on the D string, to quick open G string, and then bend on the second fret. Gonna listen to that once again here. Just bend a couple of times. So slow, that riff goes like this. Right? Then it goes all the way up to 15th fret again. That's the B string, 15th fret. Just a couple of bends, and then you hit the high E string on the 15th fret. Let the B string ring. I think it does. I'm gonna listen to it again here. Yeah, so it's and then so basically just play around with the bending there and the high E string, and after that first phrase you hit them both at the same time. That's really country lick. You play the bend and the regular fretted note at the same time, a couple of times. So that's the B string, and you just hit the E string at the same time, every time there. And then just the 12th fret on the G string again. So that whole phrase slow. So the next part, it goes down where the singing comes back. So it plays. That's sort of a G kind of arpeggio, kind of major pentatonic idea. So it's the low E string, 3rd fret, and then you take on the A string, you slide from the 5th to the 7th fret, and D string, land on the 5th fret. So the first part is, and then just like you played that, you play down a string set and up 2 frets. So it's that's on the D string, the 7th and 9th fret, to the G string on the 7th fret, and then you hammer on from the 7th to 9th fret on the G string, and land on the 8th fret on the B string. So that whole thing slow. And then it goes to a bend on the 10th fret on the B string. So that's you kind of do one of those pre-bends again there. Just a half note bend. Not a semitone, maybe I should say. Half note is the duration of the note, right? Yeah. That's the end part of that lick. So you do a kind of quick bend from the 11th to the 13th fret on the B string, twice, and slow let down of that, and then you slide from below the note, you slide up to the 9th fret on the G string, and land on the 8th fret on the B string. So that last part of the lick is like that. So I think if I play the whole part where the vocal comes in, it goes like this, slow. So the second time that he plays that riff is that part is exactly the same. Then instead of just hitting like it does the first time, he actually plays up to the major third instead. So he bends up to the 12th fret from the 10th, and he also hits the 10th fret on the E string. So it's one of those country bends again. So it plays the notes simultaneously first. Hard word to say. And then it does one of those two. So that's just bend, let it ring, hit the E string, then mute the E string, and hit the B string and let the bend down, and end on the 9th fret on the G string to the 8th fret on the B string. I think there are a couple of guitars overdubbed, and it ends up being a little bit chaotic, so it's kind of hard to pick out, but it sounds like it plays mostly from this position. So kind of the end part of that lick. You start on the 5th fret on the D string there, and slide up. That should be familiar now, that shape. Kind of plays around with that, or you could also play it up here. I don't know which way he plays it, but it sounds like he just kind of is riffing around those kind of shapes. And he also does that bend kind of a lot. So that's the same thing as we played before. It's the half note bend or semitone bend. So it's bent the 10th fret on B string, let down to the 8th fret on the B string, so the slide up to 9th fret on the G string, to the 8th fret on the B string. Like that. So that first part of the end is the... So that's that quick pull-off lick that we played before. You start on the 4th fret, pull off to the 2nd, pull off to open string on the G string there. And then you go to the D string for the 2nd fret and hit the open G string again. Twice. And then you move up to the 5th fret on the B string. Pull off to the 3rd fret. So after that, you play, and that is just on the 3rd and 5th fret on the B string and E string. So it's 3rd and to 5th on the B string, and then 3rd on the E string, 5th, and then bend the 5th a couple of times there, and then down again to the 3rd. And that lick should be familiar also. That is just slide up to the 14th of the A string and over to the 12th fret on the G string a couple of times. And then the bend, just 14th fret bend on the G string. So from from no bend to full bend to the 12th fret on the G string. Yeah, and then there's more of that country style bend we played before. That's just the 15th fret, bend up on the B string, bend up full step, and hit the 15th fret on the E string. Yeah, hit the both strings at the same time, and then let the bend down, and go to the 12th fret on the G string there. Sounds like it plays something like that. That's the 12th fret to 14th fret on the A string hammer on, and then to the D and G string on the 12th fret, kind of almost like funk rhythm thing there. You could play some muted notes in between that. I think it plays like that. Yeah, and then it goes down to one of those pull-off things again. So that's really a kind of country lick again, I think. That 4th, 2nd to open string G string, 2nd fret D string, open G string, 2nd fret D string, and pull a hammer on from the open D string to the 2nd fret to open G string. So real slow. Like that. Kind of does a floating bend there. Just 2nd fret on the G string. Kind of just let it ring and go up and down a little bit there. Kind of like that. So you do first a slow bend, and then a let down, kind of slow, and then a couple of quick bends. Yeah, kind of fun lick. And then you slide up. that's what it plays, I think. So after that, you do one of those, just quick slide to the slide up to the 14th fret on the D string, 12th fret on the G string, and then some bends on the 14th fret, like that, I think. Yeah, and in the fade out, it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe not necessary, but it plays. Something like that, and that's just the 14th fret G string bend again, and then you play the 15th fret on the B string. Something like that. That's Black Cloud. Okay, let's check out Jury. That's kind of a weird lick to open a solo with. That's a hammer on from the 7th to 9th fret on the G string. And then you do a huge bend, 3 frets to the 12th fret. So that's something like that. It does sort of a weird, it's really frantic, you know. So you gotta put some, you know, nerves into it. Kind of either like a huge vibrato or just kind of bend on the every time you hit the 9th fret, pretty much. Yeah, and that's a pull-off lick next up here. 15th fret on the B string, pull off to the 12th fret. But before that, you hit a 12th fret G string. It's kind of hard for me to say. So that lick is G string, 12th fret, and pull off from 15th to the 12th fret on the B string. And the same thing again a couple of times. So you can just practice that by do that over and over again until you get up to that speed. And then you do a couple of bends on the 15th fret up to the high E note there. So slow, that lick is, I do some vibrato at the end there. And again. Then you go down to, that's a cool lick. It's the 5th and 7th fret. And you play on the A string first, 5th, 7th, and 5th on the D string. 5th fret on the A string, 7th fret on the A string, and then jump over to the 7th fret on the D string and do kind of a pre-bend. Half note up, or semitone up, then down to the 5th fret. Slow, that is like that. And the next lick is I think like that. So you start with the same thing, A string, D string, and then you move over to 7th fret on the E string, slide down to 5th, and then let go to the 3rd fret. So that entire phrase slow is Does sort of a slide in between those two phrases. Something like that. And that slide is just on the D string. You let them know the ring and slide. Next phrase is, so that is same phrase as before pretty much. 5th, 7th on the A string, 5th fret on the D string, and 5th fret on the A string, 7th fret. So just hammer on the same way on the A and D string there. So the next part of that lick is 7th to the 9th fret on the D string, and to the 7th fret on the G string, and then again 7th fret on the G string, hammer on to the 9th, and to the 8th fret on the B string. So the first part is slow, and then you go back to the G string, play that hammer on again, and then you go to the 10th fret on the B string and do a pre-bend. Let go down to the 8th fret. Just gonna double check here. Okay, so you play the hammer on G string, 7th fret to 9th fret hammer on the G string, let's say, and land on the B string on the 8th fret, and then you go to the bend. Do kind of a frantic shake on that last. That's the way to play it. Next lick is the same, pretty much the same as before. That part is the same. And then you do, and that is on the B string, 10th fret bend. Let down to 8th fret, 10th fret, 8th fret. And then you do one of those country style bends again, where you play 10th fret, bend up to the 12th, and then you hit the 10th fret on the high E string there too. So that bend part is the next part is sort of similar to the lick we played before, if you remember that one, but he plays it an octave down and not exactly the same. I think that's what he plays, at least. It sounds more like, if it was exactly the same but an octave down, it would of course be played like this. But I think he plays, and that's the 3rd fret on the B string, hammer on, pull off the open B string, and then you hit the 2nd fret on the G string, and then bend a couple of times on the 3rd fret of the B string. And you preface. Before that, you hit the open B string a couple of times. That's what it sounds like, at least. it's kind of hard to tell actually if he plays the second fret or the open G string in that phrase, or if it's because then he goes up to that high version of that exact lick again. There it sounds more obviously like 12th fret, to me at least, but again it's kind of hard to hear. Yeah, it's really hard to hear. It's, you know, play what do you think is easier. If you find that easier to play and land on the 14th fret of the G string, or 12th fret, it's, you know, you get the same effect, and since it's hard to tell what he plays on the recording, it won't, you know, it won't sound that wrong if you actually play the other way, as long as you get it up to that sort of similar speed, you should be fine played either way. Next part of the solo is sort of the same as the first part, where it does that frantic bend vibrato thing. So the first part of that is 7th to 9th, and then huge bend, 3 fret bend again, So, while editing, I noticed I made a mistake. That lick goes like this. So that's the bend on the 10th fret on the B string, 8th fret B string, 9th fret G string, 7th fret G string, and once again. But then you play 10th fret, 8th fret on the B string yet again, and land on the 9th fret on the G string. So it is kind of just riffs around with those notes and that bend. Does sort of that thing in a couple of different ways, I guess. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. It just kind of riffs around with that and ends on the 9th fret on the G string with just a long note with a lot of vibrato on it. Alright. So that is... That's just the bend on the 15th fret on the B string, and at the same time you fret the 12th fret on the E string, and that's when you bend it, it's the same note. But if you just bend it up to the same pitch exactly and leave it there, you don't get the same effect that you get on the recording, because he does sort of vibrato on the bend note. That makes it scream a bit more. Do that twice, then 12th fret and 12th fret on the G and B string, do a slight shake on that too. And so that's of course that part from the riff that we played in another video. The first part, first time he plays the riff, he can play that bend twice. And then on the next time around, he plays an open E string on the first note of the bar. That makes him just play one bend. Like that. That's it for now. Please subscribe and let's continue this next week.